Would you rather have 3/5 of a chocolate bar or 5/8 of the exact same bar? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Learning Maths with Namita. In today's video, we are going to learn how to compare fractions. So first we will compare the fractions which have same denominator. Alright, so let us take 1/4 and 3/4. Do you remember what do we call such fractions? Try to recall. We call them like fractions, all right? So whenever you have fractions with same denominator, you need to look at the numerator, okay? Why? Because the fraction which has the bigger numerator is the bigger fraction, okay? Bigger numerator means bigger fraction. When we have same denominators, okay? You have to remember when, okay? Now let's understand with an example. Let's suppose we have two chocolate bars, okay? And we divide both of them into four equal parts. Okay, this is one chocolate bar. And let me draw another one. And we divide this into four equal parts again. Now, out of this chocolate, one part is shaded, and out of this chocolate, three parts are shaded, okay? Now, one person is going to get this part of the chocolate and another person will get this part of the chocolate. Now tell me, who will get more? Person A or person B? Definitely person B, right? Because he is going to get three parts and person A is going to get just one part out of these four, right? So this is the representation of these fractions, okay? So whenever the denominators are same, you always need to look at the numerator. Fraction which has the bigger numerator will be the bigger fraction, and fraction with the smaller numerator will be the smaller fraction. Alright. Now let's discuss another kind of comparison where you have same numerators. Okay. This time we have same numerators. So let's suppose we have 3/2 and we have 3/4. Numerators are same here, right? Now, in this case, you always need to remember that when the denominators are different, you always need to look at the denominators because numerators are same. So, we will check the denominators, okay? We'll focus here. And this time, the fraction which has a smaller denominator will be the bigger fraction, okay? Smaller denominator means bigger fraction. Let's understand how. Okay. Now, let's suppose you have one chocolate bar. Okay. And you divide it into two equal parts, right? Now you have another chocolate bar of the same size, of course, and you divide into three parts, or let's say four parts. Okay. Now tell me, which bar has bigger size of their parts? These are the two parts, okay? This chocolate has two parts and this chocolate has four parts. So is this size bigger or is this size bigger? Of course this one, right? So that is why when the numerators are same, we say the fraction which has a smaller denominator like this will be the bigger fraction. All right. So now if we take just one part of this chocolate, we will have more chocolate with us as compared to one part of this chocolate. Clear? All right. Now let's discuss next one, which is different numerators and different denominators. All right. So we will solve our chocolate question that we discussed in the beginning. Is 3/5 of a chocolate bigger or 5/8 of the chocolate will be bigger, right? Now here you see numerator and denominator both are different. So we use two methods here, okay? we can use two different methods to compare. Okay. So first is that make the denominators equal. We have already done this. You can check my previous videos. I'll mention the link in the description box. All right. Now, how do we make the denominators same? It is 5, it is 8. Okay. We will make it 40. Now you must be thinking how. 5 and 8, they do not have any common factors, right? So we will simply multiply them and see what do we get. We get 40, which means denominator should become 40. Alright, so 3 by 5. So 5 multiplied by 8 is 40, right? So we will multiply and divide by the same number. What do we get here? 24 by 40. In the same way, we will work on the second fraction. Here we will multiply and divide by 5. So that the denominator become 40. The numerator becomes 25. Okay, now this and this, they are equivalent fraction. We have just changed their representation, but they are still what they were initially. Okay. Now we get 24 by 40 and 25 by 50. Correct? So do you observe what we have done? We have made them like fractions. 24 by 40 and 25 by 40. And we have already discussed this, that when the denominators are same, we check which numerator is bigger. The bigger numerator is bigger fraction. So here we compare 24 and 25. We see that 25 is the bigger number here. So, and it is associated with 5 by 8, which means 5 by 8 is the bigger fraction than 3 by 5. Alright? Clear? Now, let's see how the second method works. So, for the second method, it is simple cross multiplication method. Okay? So, instead of multiplying and dividing by the same number, what do? We write both the fractions here and you multiply the numerator of one fraction by the denominator of the another fraction. So right here 3 multiplied by 8, what is it? We get 24, correct? And 5 multiplied by 5 gives us 25. Now simply see which number is bigger. Check here itself. Is 24 bigger or is 25 bigger here? 25 is big, right? So, and it is written on top of which fraction? 5 by 8. So simply you can say 5 by 8 is bigger than 3 by 5. Okay. So I'm just repeating it again. You multiply 3 by 8 and write it here on the top of this numerator. Okay. We get 24. Now 5 multiplied by 5, you write it on the top of this numerator. We get 25. Check which product you get is the bigger one, 24 or 25. We see, okay, in this case here 25 is the greater number. So we just need to see which side it is written, on top of which fraction. It is written on the top of 5 by 8. So simply understand that this fraction is the bigger one and this is the smaller one. Okay. This is how it works. Now quickly we will take one example of each category and solve it again. Okay. And we will try to solve it together slowly. Okay. So first we have like fractions. Let's suppose we have 11 by 9 and 7 by 9. Okay. Now, how do we solve it? We just look at the numerators. The fraction which has the bigger numerator is the bigger fraction. So, we will say that 11 by 9 is bigger than 7 by 9. Okay. Now see, I'm not calculating anything. I'm not comparing. I'm not drawing anything. Once you understand the rule, once you understand the concept, you can quickly compare. Okay. Now, second one is, let's suppose we can change, reverse just these one, right? 9 by 11 and let's suppose we have 9 by 7. So when you have numerators same, always check the denominators. The denominator which is smaller is the bigger fraction. Okay, so in this case 9 by 7 is the bigger fraction and 9 by 11 is the smaller one. Okay, now let's say another one in which numerator and denominator both are different. Okay, so we can take 13 by 2 and 4 by 7. Okay, now we need to solve this one. Okay, solve this one, or we can simply do cross multiplication. So 13 multiplied by 7 is 91, right? 13 multiplied by 7 is 91. I'm writing it here on the top of this fraction. And 2 multiplied by 4 is 8. Now, if we compare 91 and 8, we see that 91 is the bigger one. So this fraction is bigger, okay? So I will put this sign, okay? So 13 by 2 is the bigger fraction here and 4 by 7 is the smaller fraction, okay? You see, we do not need to do any kind of calculation here, correct? So this is very simple if you understand the concept and if you do a little bit of practice. So our fraction series ends here. Over these videos, we have covered the basics of fractions. It's different. We have discussed its different kinds and addition and subtraction of fractions. We also learned how to multiply and how to divide the fractions. And in this video, we have learned how to compare the fractions. Now there will just be one more short video in this fraction series where I'll be explaining that why do we multiply and divide by the same number. Though I have explained it earlier also, but still I will make a short on this concept separately so that whenever you are confused or whenever you forget why, you know how, but if you ever get confused about why, you can always refer to that video. And from the next week, we are moving on to a brand new topic, expressions. Expressions means when letters and numbers come together. So algebra is going to be very interesting. Till then, keep practicing and have fun. Bye-bye.